Hello, everyone. Hi. This is Ifeoma Odunlami, immigration attorney from the Odunlami law firm. I have a really great topic for you today, so I'm going to wait until I have a couple more people coming in. All right. So today I want to talk about I-485 denials. I-485 denials. So there's no one on here, so let me introduce myself for those who do not know me or who are joining my live for the first time. My name is Ifeoma Odunlami. I'm an immigration attorney from the Odunlami law firm in New Jersey. This law firm serves clients from all 50 states as long as it's a family-based immigration matter or humanitarian-based immigration matter. So our passion and our mission is to help our fellow immigrants get their legal status fixed. So this video topic, I want to talk about something that will be of benefit for a lot of you guys. So if you come on in, please feel free to say hello, tell me where you're joining from, and do a little wave if you care. So last week I didn't have any live at all, no social media. I was so sick. You guys get your flu shot because this year's flu is going to be so horrible. And my son had the flu. I'm not sure if I had the flu because I really didn't get tested, but I felt really bad last week. I'm actually feeling better. I had laryngitis. I couldn't really talk. My throat felt like I had razors in them. But today, thanks to the powerful work of antibiotics, I feel much better. So guys, we're going to talk about I-485 denials. What do you do when your I-485 has been denied, also known as the adjustment of status? So for starters, let me give a little preview to what the adjustment of status is for those who may not know what it is. So an adjustment of status is the application you file when you're present in the United States and you're looking to change from one status to the other. It could be from one legal status to another legal status, which is a green card, or it could be from no status, which means you don't have any documentation in terms of maybe you have an expired visa and you're looking to change your status to a green card holder. So the important thing to know is for you to be able to adjust your status to get a green card, you must be admissible, right? So there are many things that make a person not admissible that makes it impossible for them to adjust their status. For instance, if you came in through the border without permission, you just came in through the border, you're not going to be able to adjust your status in the United States. You would have to get a provisional waiver, right? A waiver, and then you can go back to your country, do the interview process there and come back. So that's a different process. Now, another reason not to be able to adjust your status is if you have some criminal history, felony, something of that sort. You may not be able to adjust your status. Now, or if you're not in a legal status and the application, your petition requires you to be in a legal status to be able to adjust your status, then you won't be able to adjust your status. And I'm going to give you an example of this because this happens all the time. If you have a sibling here in the United States and your sibling came in, say, 20 years ago, even they came with maybe a B1, B2 visa, they've overstayed their visa a long time ago, and then you become a US citizen and you think to yourself, oh, I can file for my sibling. Well, if your sibling is not in legal status, they can never adjust their status within the United States, right? Or they come in and they come in on a B1, B2, but you know when you file for your sibling as a US citizen, it's going to take a long time before their priority date is reached, which means that they're likely to be out of status. So in this case, they're not going to be able to adjust their status unless they have other statuses which might allow them in the future. So this might be a little technical, a little difficult to understand, but I'm just trying to get you guys to understand what the adjustment of status is. That's the application that allows you to change your status from whatever you had before to a green card, right? So in a lot of times we have people who they have a spouse, a family member has applied for them. And I'm going to talk about this in the scenario of a spouse, because that's where a lot of the questions come in, right? You have a spouse who files an I-130 petition for you, and you file the adjustment of status package, which is the I-485, I-765, which is a work permit, I-131, which is the travel permit, and all the other documents that you need, right? And then your I-485 is denied, and your I-130 is denied as well, right? Now, if your I-130 is denied, which is the petition of which is a petitioner who either the U.S. citizen or the green card holder who's petitioning for you, if your I-130 is denied, they're going to deny your I-485 because the I-485 has nothing to hang on, right? The I-485 has to have something to hang on, has to have a reason. You have to have a qualifying reason for which allows you to adjust your status. So if that happens, right, you're typically sent a letter. So the petitioner will be sent a denial of the I-130 letter, which explains why the I-130 was denied. And then the beneficiary, the non-US citizen, the intended immigrant gets the I-485 denial letter. Now, the I-485 denial letter is really very sparse. It doesn't really tell you a lot, right? A lot of times it just says that there's nothing, you don't qualify because you don't show any reason for you to qualify. And then they tell you that you have to leave the country within, I think, is it 30 days or 33 days or something like that, right? And this is where I get people calling all panicked, wanted to leave right away. And so there's a video I want to explain to you what you need to do when you get a denied I-485, right? You need to talk to a lawyer, because there are consequences to leaving the country if you've been here without status for a while, right? You may leave and not be able to come back because you've had unlawful presence, which now bars you from coming back into the United States for 3 years or for 10 years. So before you make the decision to leave, you want to talk to an attorney to see if there could be other things you may qualify for that would allow you to stay and file for those instead, right? So I know a lot of clients are really nervous that if they don't leave within 33 days, USCIS is going to come knock on the door. At least that's what they think. Grab them, yank them, and put them on a plane and take them back to their country. That's not how it works. Typically, there's a process, due process, before immigration can deport you, unless you already have an outstanding deportation order or you came in through ESTA, right? They have to go through immigration court. They have to serve you with a notice to appear. That's the document that states what they're charging you with, right? And gives you a date and a time to appear in immigration court. So if your concern is if you don't leave within 33 days, that you're going to be put on a plane and deported, that's not how it really goes. There has to be a process. So now the issue is, well, do I leave and risk not being able to come back in for 3 years or for 10 years, depending on how long you've been out of status, how long you've had unlawful presence in the United States, or do I stay and get served with a notice to appear and then get yanked into immigration court? Now, there are a lot of people that don't ever get served with an NTA. They're just in limbo here, no status, nothing, right? There are a lot of people like that. So when you talk to your immigration attorney, they can best tell you what the options are. And then you make a decision whether, well, you know what, I think I'm just going to leave because it's not going to work out. The relationship is not working out. And you know what, I want to go home, be with my family, whatever. Or you think, you know what, I'm just going to stay because my spouse and I, the reason this I-485 was denied was because we didn't do a proper job in presenting our case. So we want to do it again and do it properly. So you might want to do that, right? So the first thing you need to do when you get a denied I-485 is to call a lawyer so that they can review the information review your situation and tell you what your options are, and then you can make an informed decision. All right. So another thing you can do is that letter, the denied I-485, will give you the option to file a motion to reopen or a motion for reconsideration, right? Now, a lot of people want to do this right away because they think, well, let me just file it. Maybe it'll be a different result. And again, you need to talk to a lawyer because filing a motion to reopen or filing a motion for reconsideration actually requires you to know certain things. Did USCIS not follow the law? Or did they not, is there new information you have that wasn't available at that time through no fault of your own that may help your case, right? The one thing you need to know is when you file a motion to reopen or motion to reconsider, you don't get any immigration benefits. For instance, your work permit terminates at the denial, so does your travel permit. And so when you file the motion, it's not, it doesn't renew itself, even if the card you have says it's not going to expire for a while, it's functionally terminated. So that if you were to get a job somewhere else and they have to run a search on your ability to work, it'll show that it's terminated, regardless of the fact that the card you have gives you another year, right? You just need to know that that card is terminated. So, anybody in here? Let's see if I have anybody in the comments. No, nobody yet. So, thank you for joining from Instagram. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube as well. So, like I said, you want to, if you decide to file a motion to reopen or motion for reconsideration, you want to make sure that you have something valid because first of all, it costs money because you're going to have a filing fee, and you want to make sure that you have a fair chance because it takes a long time for a response, and that's a long time not to, you know, have a work permit or have something going. So you want to figure out whether this is the right avenue to go, whether you should be filing the motion to reopen or motion to reconsider. All right. Now, another thing you want to consider is maybe you should just refile the petition. So, of course, this would depend on why the case was denied. If it was denied because you didn't put in the paperwork, or there was an RFE that you didn't respond to, or you didn't put in certain things that they needed, that might have been the reason it was denied. And in that case, if it was denied because of that, you want to refile the petition. And at this time, of course, you want to make sure you prepare the petition properly by getting a lawyer who knows what they're doing, right? So that you can get it done properly. Now, the thing you should not do is just to file for the sake of filing. Oh, you know what? I've been denied. I need a work permit. Let me refile so I can get a work permit, knowing fully well that you and your spouse are no longer together, no intentions of reconciling, but you just go ahead and refile so that you can get a work permit, maybe get them to agree to whatever. That's something you need to know, that it's a delay tactic, because remember, at the end, you're still going to need to go for an interview with your spouse. So you want to make sure that you're not refiling just to get a work permit or just for the sake of refiling. Because I have a lot of people that come here, their cases are denied and they come and they want to file VAWA. And for those that don't know what VAWA is a Violence Against Women's Act, and it applies to men, women, and children. And so they think that every time the I-485 is denied, due to, maybe their spouse didn't show up, or the spouse, or they messed up at the interview, the next thing to do is to file VAWA. And there are people who are out there taking advantage of these immigrants who are, who are really desperate. So I'm speaking to you guys, my fellow immigrants. Don't let people take advantage of you. If you do not have a VAWA case, don't file a VAWA. You don't file VAWA just because your spouse didn't, you guys didn't get the case approved. You file VAWA if you can prove that, first of all, it was a bona fide relationship, was a real marriage, and there was abuse in the marriage, and you show that you're a person of good moral character. You show that you lived with your spouse at some point. So you want to make sure that you're not just filing VAWA because you've been denied, which seems to be what a lot of people think. Oh, I was denied, let's file VAWA. The thing is, if you don't qualify for VAWA, you're going to get denied again. So you want to make sure that you can meet your burden of proof when you want to file VAWA, right? However, you do know that even if your I-485 was denied, you can file VAWA if you qualify. That's something you should know. So just because your spouse didn't show up, they went for the interview, and sometimes there's some people that have spouses who go for these interviews just to set them up, and you're denied because of inconsistencies or whatnot. If you were in a legitimate relationship, a real good faith marriage, and you have abuse in your relationship, call me. We can file a VAWA petition regardless of whether your I-485 was denied, right? And another question I get, well, what if I'm put in immigration proceedings, deportation proceedings? Can I still file VAWA? Yes, you can. You can still file VAWA. You can file an I-130. Maybe your spouse is ready to file for you, and you guys are, the first application, there was some problem that caused it to be denied and caused you to be in deportation. If your I-130 is approved, you can still go back to immigration courts and have that deportation case terminated by way of motion. All right. So there are many things that can be done. Just because your I-485 is denied does not mean that you are not going to be able to get a green card. Not at all. Okay. So I've had people who have had their I-485 denied, and there are many ways you can still get your papers. You can get it through a U visa if you've been the victim of a crime, or you've been the victim of trafficking, or you fall in love with somebody else who wants to get married to you, and you guys get married and your I-130 is approved. There are just so many ways. So, or you have a child who's a U.S. citizen who's now of age and can file for you. There are just many ways to get your green card. So an I-485 denial is not a reason to panic, but what it is a reason to talk to an experienced attorney to figure out what can be done, okay? How you can get back on the path to a green card. So guys, that was all I have for today. My voice is still kind of hoarse, so I'm going to sign off, but I will come back again, hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to try to come in as much as possible every day. Hi, Agnes. How are you? Long time no see. Nice to see you too. So I hope, did you listen? Did you hear anything? Any of my presentation, Agnes? I hope it was helpful to you. If it was, please share. Just subscribe to my channel. I have a YouTube channel. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok as well. Please share, because you never know who needs this information. As much as I put a lot of content here, I'm always surprised when people tell me they never had this information. So it's really important for you guys to share to our immigrant community to make sure that they're not being taken advantage of by people who are taking their money and giving them wrong information, filling out their papers wrongly. You want to make sure that they have an awareness of what's going on, so that they can be on the right track to getting a green card. All right. So take care, everyone. I will hopefully be on live again tomorrow. And I'm going to try to be on live at the same time, but it's kind of a little difficult sometimes because of work and court and all that. But I'm trying to find that time when I'm mostly in the office. Okay. Take care.